This week was meant to start with a base run. However, it ended with me having completely soaking, wet, cold feet. If I'm going to run the Liverpool half marathon in sub 90 and train for it in the winter, this just isn't going to work. So I changed something Garmin didn't plan for. This is week 2 of letting Garmin coach and the push app train me for a sub 90 half marathon. Week 1 went okay. In fact, it went brilliantly. However, this week the weather turned and it started to expose a really big problem. Garmin coach doesn't care if it's raining outside, snowing, if it's cold. The plan just doesn't change. And in this challenge, I have to stick to that plan. But what did care was my feet and the shoes that I was wearing, which just weren't managing to cope with the weather outside. Every run I ran at the start of this week was wet, cold, there was puddles everywhere, you just couldn't avoid them. The Superblast 2s. These shoes are great in the summer, honestly. One of the best shoes that you can buy. However, in the summer, they perform brilliantly. In the winter, the upper on them is basically non-existent, which makes them amazing for hot runs, makes them incredible so your feet don't sweat. However, the weather starts getting like it is outside in the UK currently. This just doesn't work. The water gets in, feet get soaking, long runs become an absolute nightmare. And that might sound minor, but 10 weeks of half marathon training at the paces I need to run at, the different runs I need to do, it just isn't going to work. I'm either going to fall over, get injured, slip on them mushy leaves that are everywhere. Something needed to change. And that's when I started thinking, do I fix this or do I just leave it and keep running in them? They're brilliant shoes, but do I fix it? Do I do something that I never normally do and take this half marathon the most serious I've ever done? So I decided to. So stick with us. We're going to start with the wet, freezing cold run in the Superblast, and then we'll move on to the decision I made. So, what else? Week 2 and long run day. So, Garmin coach doesn't tend to run in kilometres, more minutes, so wants me to do 57 minutes, average pace of 5:30 per kilometre. So, I'm going to get it done. Weather's grim, raining, windy, so see how my feet hold up. This is the first long run I've done in a long while, so see how we get on. Miles are increasing slowly. This week will be harder than the last. Halfway, just over 5 kilometres in, sticking to a 5:15, 5:20 per kilometre pace. It's alright, to be fair. So, on to the last stretch, get home, dodge 7,000 more puddles. Winter running just isn't the one, especially when you haven't got the right footwear for it. So, feet are soaking, but we move. So, keep going, get this long run out the way for the week, and we'll see whether the increase in miles does start to affect us with the weightlifting as well. So let's get this. There's another giant puddle. Long run done for the week. So I'll show you the run receipt. Done just over 11 miles. Garmin wants me to run 57 minutes, so that's what we did exactly. So I'm a bit different. I like to get my long run out the way on the Monday. Just gets it done. Stops the mental battle of waiting until the weekend. Just get out on the Monday, get the long run done, and then you just got the base training. It's like that. So I've set the Garmin for Monday for my long run. It just works for me. So you can set it whatever day you want, but that is long run day done. So on to the rest of the week. It was very, very wet, so might have to do something about the footwear. If you have any winter footwear that you'd recommend, make sure you whack it down in the comments. Or just the best trainers in general. I'm also going to have to look for some carbon plated trainers for race day, so I haven't got any. So got any recommendations, whack them in them comments for me. See you tomorrow.
Hey. Yeah. Yeah. Legends ain't born, they built from the grind. From benches to banners, we sharpen the mind. We sharpen the sword and promise and swore that we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Hey, yeah, we going hard and leaving it all on the floor.
So this might be one of the most important purchases of this whole 10-week challenge. If I'm going to do this 129.59, I can't be slipping around out there going through all these puddles. The UK winter is no joke. So I need something to help me train for this winter. So up step the Adidas Evo SL ATRs. Think of these as the all-terrain version of a fast trainer. The SL stands for super light, and they really are. But the reason I bought these specifically is the ATR outsole. Unlike my summer shoes that I have plenty of, these have a continental style rubber with more aggressive lugs, so 1.5mm. It's not a full trail shoe, but it's designed to bite into wet pavement, grit and light mud, exactly what I'll be facing during the 10 weeks of training outside in the UK weather. So these should be able to adapt to anything the winter can throw at me. So the upper is slightly more rugged than the standard version. It's designed to keep the cold, the wind and the spray out, especially when Garmin has me doing 800-metre sprints in wet weather outside. The slightly heavier, weighing in at 263 grams for my size 9s. Semi-waterproof material on the upper, and with the improvement to the laces and keeping the Light Strike Pro inside, they should be just as quick, maybe not as snappy as the originals, but they look great, and hopefully with these 1.5mm lugs they will stop me from getting injured during this 10-week training and help me every run that I'm going to do. Obviously if it's dry outside I'll put the dry shoes on, but these are always there now as a go-to, and I needed a decent pair of winter trainers. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and if you've got these or you're thinking about purchasing them, make sure you drop me a comment down there, and if there's any other winter training shoes you think I should have a look at, let me know. But I honestly think this colourway is the nicest shoe I've currently got in my run rotation. So let's get these outside and see how they perform in them wintry conditions out there. I'm currently just over halfway of the half-an-hour run, and oh my god, the Evo SL ATR Adidas, what have we created? They are incredible. Honestly, an absolute game changer for the winter. They're a little bit heavier than the old Evos, but that Light Strike foam, honestly, just still pops. It's hard to describe. They feel slightly heavier, but they're still fun. Like, and the seam and the turns and stuff. I'm like, you can turn. The grip is just there with them 1.5mm lugs. Just turn, going through water. Absolute dream. Feet stay dry, nice and toasty. What Adidas have done, or whoever decided to turn the Evos into a winter pair of runners, my god, hands down to you. They have got a bit of a drop, so they can make you want to go a bit faster, but that foam just soaks up the road. Honestly, I think in the winter, do any pace in these, take it to a track, do what you wanted. They are an everyday pair of running shoes. They are incredible. So, get this run finished. I'll see you when I'm back home. Back from the run, and these are incredible. The traction on them wet winter roads is absolutely incredible. Turning, everything. I had the Evos before and they weren't the most stable of shoes. These are so stable. They might be a little bit heavier, but they are incredible. They cost me £140 from JD, so the mid-range, not too bad. But running gear only gets you so where, and Garmin has got me doing a speed session, and because I really want to see what the Evo SL ATRs can do. Next week, I'm going to take them to a parkrun and I'm going to try and sub 20 that 5k in these to see not only if these can hold the pace, but how fast I am currently. Have I got it in me? I've only got 8 weeks after this week, so after the parkrun, it'll be 7 weeks. So, have I got that pace in me? Next week will be the ultimate challenge. It's actually a dry and pleasant day. So I did my gym workout yesterday, which was predominantly lower legs. When I looked yesterday, it had me down for a tempo run today on Garmin, but it's factored in. I've done a gym workout and it's just given me a 30-minute benchmark run again. So maybe it does work. I mean, I feel alright, but maybe I do need to rest a bit, so work it out. Do the slow 30 minutes. So, I'm officially back in the jump seat. So, managed to do that run, 30 minutes, managed to get the run done. I did 5.7 kilometres at a 5:16 pace, which isn't too bad. Surprisingly, obviously I said before on the run, Garmin changed the run from a tempo to just a base 30 minutes. And to be honest, I think it was right. My legs at the end were absolutely shot. So maybe the long run the other day, putting the gym work in on my legs yesterday, maybe it's done the right thing. So that was week 2 completed. It started with a bit of a nightmare with the rain, ended actually brilliant. I really enjoyed running in the Evo SL ATRs. However, next week is the real test for them and for me. So I'm going to be running Birkenhead Parkrun, a 5k, quite hilly, and we're going to see if I can break 20 minutes, that elusive 20 minutes I've only broke a couple of times before. Let's put the Evo SL ATRs to the pace, put myself to the pace, and see if I can beat Garmin's prediction time, the 5k. Let's see if these prediction times are right. See if I am above what Garmin thinks, where Garmin thinks, or below what Garmin thinks, which could be an absolute disaster considering we've only got 7 weeks of training left. So there's going to be no excuses, no help, just try and flat out 5k. Let's see where I'm at next week. If you're chasing a sub 90 half, or you're chasing any sort of goal in running, or using the Garmin coach app like I am for your training, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the future runs. Plus, you won't want to miss out on next week's parkrun where I try and break that sub 25k. This either could go right or it could go very, very wrong. Catch you next week.